Sure, you have all heard the expression, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay? So that holds true no matter what you're doing in your business. You need a business plan, you need an online marketing plan, you need a hiring plan. We just went over that. So that holds true in everything. So first of all, you need to decide what it is you want to accomplish. Now, a lot of businesses that I work with, their primary concern is just having a website that they can put on their business card, that they can put on their brochure, that they can hand out to prospects, that validates, you know, in the prospect's mind that you are a legitimate business. You are not concerned about that site being ranked on the search engines and that kind of thing. And if that's all it is, a place for you to send prospects, you can pretty much do anything you want to do with that site. But what we're going to be talking about today is, here again, examples of your work, testimonials. But what we're going to talk about is, what if I have a site that I want to be found? Okay, I want to be found for my keywords. Then what do I need to do going into 2015 to make sure that that site it can be found? That if people can, we talked about keywords this morning, you know, if they're searching on that they can be found for that. Another thing a website could be is just an additional resource that you have for your customers or your clients. You know, you could have training videos on there that trains them how to use your product or service, tips, you know, if you're in the health industry, you know, tips on being healthy, things like that. So the first thing you need to do before you sit down and start working on your plan is decide, what is it I'm trying to accomplish in the coming year with my website, with my online marketing. And it'll be different depending on which one of these things that you're trying to accomplish. If you are trying to be found online, and I'm going to make that assumption going from this point forward in this presentation, you really need to know your competitors. Okay? What are their keywords? What is in their description? Now, how do you find that out? Simple. You do a search on your keyword. Okay? Take the top 5 businesses that show up on page 1, go to their website, right-click on their website. There's an option that says View Source. It will show you the back end of their site, and they'll say keywords. These are their keywords, and it'll list it. There'll be a place there that says Description, and it'll tell you what the description is. It'll say Title, and you'll see the keywords. So those people that are on page 1, you'll see that keyword in many different variations in the keywords, in the title, in the description. So you want to emulate that if you are also trying to be on page 1 of the internet. What Google categories are there on? So when you do that keyword search, it gives you a list of local businesses. It'll say Google plus page. You click there and look to see what categories that particular business is in. You want your categories to come as close as you can to matching your keywords. Okay? What other sites are they listed on? How do you find that out? Simple. You take that person that's on the top, take the name of that business, key it back into the search engines, and look to see what other sites they're on. They should be on sites like Yellow Pages, Angie's List, Super Pages, all those local directories I was talking about. If they're listed on those sites, guess what? You should be listed on that site as well. Yeah. No, that's a good question. I'm not talking about the ads. There'll be 3 or 4 at the top that they're paying to be there. I'm not talking about the paid listings. I'm talking about when you come down below that. Usually what you'll have is paid listings. Then you'll have 1 or 2 what we call organic listings. And then below that, depending on the search term, you'll have 5 to 7 what we used to call Google Maps. Now it's called Google Plus local listings. And for a local business, that's where you want to be. That's where most people go locally, are those 5 to 7 local listings that you see if you're a local business. So that's where you find the Google Plus page. You want to go there, see what categories they're listed in, and then turn around and key in their name back into the internet, see what other sites they're listed on. I mentioned this site this morning, MajesticSEO.com. I said you could go there to find out what backlinks are on your site, because you can't control when somebody links from their site to yours. So you can see what's there. You could do the same thing with your competitor. You could key in their website, where are they going to get links to their site, and then go to those sites and get links to your site as well. So take a look at who's advertising on Google. Now, just to, again, doing a competitive analysis. Google swears that advertising on Google has nothing to do with their organic listings. Okay, but I just do that on the advertising just to see, what are they advertising, what keywords are they coming up for. So spend some time when you're working on your plan for next year and do a thorough analysis of your company. Another quick way to find out what their keywords are. Remember this morning I talked about Google Keyword Planner? In the Google Keyword Planner, when you go in there, there's a place to list a website. It'll say landing page. If you key in your competitor's landing page in there, it will come back and tell you what the keywords are for that page. Okay? So that's another good way to find out what are they ranking for, and you want to try to rank for those exact same things. Website review. Now, if somebody else built your website for you, you want to go through and do an analysis of your site and then go back to your webmaster and say, I need some of these things fixed. If your goal, again, is for ranking purposes. So, for example, we talked about having 3 to 5 keywords. You should have a page on your website dedicated to each one of those top 3 to 5 keywords. So there should be a separate page for that. You should also have the keywords in your title, in your description, and your tags. Now, one way to know that is when you do a Google search, when you come up, the blue line that says what the search is, that's where your title is. The description is what's below that, the description of the site. And your keywords should be in there, and the tags. Now, if you are using WordPress, which is a very popular platform for blogs and for websites, there is a plugin called All-in-One SEO, All-in-One SEO, that will help you. It makes it real easy for creating this. It'll create it for every single page and every single post that you do, and you can go ahead and add that. You don't have to know anything about HTML or anything like that. Make sure all pages have sufficient copy and that it is unique. What's sufficient copy? 500 to 700 words. Okay? Google used to be, we could get away with 300 words on a page. Now they're saying they want 500 to 700 words for them to consider it to be significant. The other thing too is, if you're doing this, write this down. Copyscape, COPYSCAPE.com. COPYSCAPE.com. Copyscape. It'll cost you 10 cents each time, but you can take your page, highlight it, put it in there. It will tell you whether or not it's unique content. I recently reviewed an insurance company's website. Every single page had at least 20 other insurance agents that had the exact same copy on their site. Google doesn't like duplicate content, okay? So that will tell you whether it's duplicate content or not if you run it through Copyscape. We talked about this morning. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but make sure your contact information, name, address, phone number is on every single page and every single post. Okay? If you're not blogging, you need to blog, because it's content, fresh content, that's what the search engines are looking for. Images. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Every single page and every single post should have an image on it. Ideally, that image should be something that you took or you had a professional photographer take that is unique to you. You can use stock images, a lot of people do, but if you can, use images of your product, of your service, of your customers, things like that. When you upload an image to your computer, make sure that that image has the keyword in the name of the image. Okay? So it should be in the name of the image. Then when you have the image there, right-click on the image. You'll go into Properties and Details. So you go into Properties, there's tabs at the top, you go into Details. Make sure the title of the image has your keyword, the subject of your image, the tags of the image have your keyword in them. The description of the image should be your name, address, and phone number. Remember that search engines cannot read images. What they will read are the properties of that image. Okay? So that's where they'll get the keyword. When you upload an image to the site, one of the things that like WordPress and other sites like that will ask you for is called an alt tag, ALT tag. It'll come right up, say, what's the alt tag? The alt tag is what the search engine is reading. So make sure your keyword is in that alt tag. Okay? They should be relevant. Alt tags, I already mentioned that. Named with the keyword. Review of your website continued. Talked about this morning. Should be mobile friendly. Make sure it can be read on a mobile device, on an iPad. Okay. Recently met with a client. Their site was built about 15 years ago. It was built in Flash. Will not show up on an iPad, will not show up on a mobile device. So if you have any kind of Flash components to your website, they're not going to play on those devices. XML sitemap, that should be part. Now this is something you can't see if you have somebody that developed your website for you. Just ask them, does it have an XML sitemap? If you're using WordPress, there's actually a little plug-in called Google XML sitemap that will add it to your site for you. What a sitemap is, remember I talked this morning about the search engines crawling your site? What they're crawling is the sitemap of the site. And it's just a directory. This is the home page, this is the page under that, these pages are linked underneath there. So it just tells the search engines how is this website laid out. Page for each, we talked about that this morning. Page for every location, every product, every service. Okay. Webmaster Tools, and I'm just going to have you, if you do build your own site or your own blog site, just Google Webmaster Tools. You should have that installed on your computer, and it'll walk you through. There's certain things that you do to connect your website to the Webmaster Tools. One thing that's nice about that, if you are ranking well, and all of a sudden you're not ranking so hot anymore, it's like you fell to page 2 or something like that, and you're wondering why, there's analysis tools you can go into with the Webmaster Tools, and it will tell you what Google doesn't like about your page that caused it to fall. Okay? So there's certain tools in there that will tell you, for example, that it doesn't have a sitemap, or it will tell you that it has too many backlinks, or whatever. It'll tell you what the problem is with the site. Always, always, always have a backup for your website. No matter how much you try to have nice, strong keyword or passwords and that kind of thing, you're going to get hacked. Sooner or later, it's just going to happen. You're going to get hacked. So make sure that you have a backup plan, okay, for your website so that if it goes down or somebody hacks into it, you can quickly restore back the original website that you had. Let's talk a little bit about local listings. I covered that a little bit this morning, but again, make sure that you have a Google Plus page. Okay? If you go and Google your business, and what I mean by that, when you Google businesses, you'll have the little teardrop. That's used to be called Google Maps. Okay? If you go there and you see the name of your business is listed, and underneath there, it does not say Google Plus page. You don't have one. And sooner or later, that listing's going to come down because they want everybody to have a Google Plus page. You need to make sure that that page is claimed and that it's optimized. How do I know if it's claimed? If you go into a page, now, first of all, you need to be logged into Google with a Gmail account. So you're logged into your Gmail account, you go to your page or your Google listing, you go down a little bit, you'll see a big box that says manage this page. If it says manage this page, nobody's claimed it yet, which means anybody can go in there and manage that page and do whatever they want to with it. So make sure, if you don't see that, then it has been claimed, okay? And you have to be on the right Gmail account with the right password to get in and make changes to that site. Optimizing the listing, make sure you have a description on Google with your keywords in the description. Make sure you're in the right category. We used to be limited to 5 categories. There's now no limit to the number of categories you can be in on Google. However, we also used to be able to create our own categories. Now you have to match the categories that are on Google. So whatever you're going after, it has to already be there, a category for you to select from. So most businesses would only fall into 2 or 3 categories unless you sell a lot of different things. Upload at least 10 photos. Okay. And make sure that you are listed on Bing and Yahoo. Now, again, this goes back to your target audience as well. The majority of baby boomers use Bing, not Google. Anybody have an idea why that is? Baby boomers and above, even primarily the ones that are older than baby boomers even. I don't know what that generation. Anybody have an idea why that is? It's installed on PCs and they don't know how to change the default browser. So they will use Bing. So if your target audience is baby boomers and above, you want to make sure that you are on Bing. And there are still those out there that use Yahoo, and I would add to that list, like I said this morning, Yelp. Okay. Local directories. Okay. Are you listed? I told you how to do that this morning. Search for the local directories. Make sure you're listed. If you are in a particular industry, if you are a lawyer, there are sites geared specifically to lawyers. If you are a real estate agent, there are sites specific to real estate agents. So one of the things to do is to type in your keyword and look for those listings. Go the first page, go a couple pages down. For example, there's a site called elocalplumbers.com. If you're a plumber, you want to be there. Okay? So those are industry directories. Again, where are your competitors listed? Just do a search on your competitor's name, see where they come up. If they're listed there, you should be listed there. Do you have a plan for reviews? And Lee was really good this morning when he was talking about reviews. You need to have a process for collecting those reviews from your customer. When is your customer usually the most happiest? At the time you did the job, okay? So right after you've done the job, you've performed the service, have an email that goes out to them immediately. Don't make it generic. Be very specific. Will you please go to Google, here's my Google listing, and post a review. Will you please go to Yelp, here's my Yelp listing. Give them 3 places they can go. Choose one of the following. Now, one of the problems with Google and Yelp and some of those is that they have to have an account on there in order to post a review, and some people won't. So you give them 2 places to go where they need an account, 1 place where they do not. And a lot of times that will be your website. Have a place on your website to collect reviews. Okay? For WordPress, there's a free plugin called WP Reviews. And you can upload that, and it allows you to review the review before it actually goes live on your website. So make sure you have a place to collect reviews. You could have a postcard that you leave behind If you have a service where you go to the customer, leave that postcard behind. Again, very specific instructions. You can go here, here, here to leave us a review. Now, there's something interesting here as far as the laws are concerned with reviews. You can offer a reward for doing a review. You can say, get 10% off your next purchase. You know, if you're in a restaurant, you get a free appetizer, something like that. So you can offer a reward for doing a review. You can't offer a reward for doing a good review. Now, I can't imagine somebody going to a site and giving a bad review and then saying, where's my free appetizer? But that's just, make sure your wording, if you are going to put on that postcard or that email, get this for doing a review, that it is just for a review. You can't say a good review. Ask your vendors, ask people in your networking group, ask your peers. Okay? You need reviews to help get ranked these days. And you want to monitor your reputation. And how do you do that? You can, there's something called a Google Alert. Okay, you can Google that, Google Alert. You can key in your business name, and it will send you an email as often as you ask it for. It could be once a day, once a week, whatever. Every time your business name is mentioned on the internet. Okay, so you can keep track of, am I getting good reviews? Do I have a good reputation on the internet? Now, one question I get a lot of times is, what if I have a bad review? We're talking about employees, you fire that employee and they go and they blast you on Google or something like that, you get a bad review. You cannot remove a review. Okay? Now, if it's on Google and some other places, I highly recommend that you monitor that, all reviews, and respond. So as the owner of the page, you can go in and respond to review. If it's a good review, say thank you for the review, glad we could be of service. If it's a bad review, first of all, first thing you want to do is take it offline. You don't want to get a tit for tat on the internet, okay? So say, I'm sorry you had a problem, I'd love to resolve that. Can you please call me at, or email me at. Now, even if it's an employee that did it, of course, they're not going to call you or email you. But the people coming to the site see that you made an effort to resolve the situation. Okay? So you always want to respond to reviews. The second thing is, if that happens, get as many people as you can to go do a good review, because they're in chronological order. If you have more reviews, it'll push that bad one off the page. So try to, if you do get a bad review, and don't worry, people, a lot of people, they want the 5-star reviews all the time. Actually, you don't, because they look fake. Get some 5s, get some 3s, get some 4s. Those are all okay, because it shows that they're legitimate reviews, from people who have really used your service. But you really need to work on getting reviews these days on the internet. Google Alerts, already mentioned that. Social media, we talked about that a little bit this morning. Determine which social media sites are the best for your business. Ask your customers, are you on Facebook? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Google+? Where are you? Where do you hang out? And you want to be where they're hanging out. Make sure that you've set up a profile page. All of them have a profile. Make sure it's complete as possible. What I recommend for profiles, especially like LinkedIn, if you solve a particular problem for somebody, on your profile say, let's say you do business to business, a lot of businesses experience whatever the problem is, okay? We solve that problem. Then list how you solve the problem. This isn't the place where you put your resume of all the wonderful things you've done. But this is a place where you show that there's a specific problem that you and your company can take care of, and put that in your profile. Make sure you have a link to your website there. Make sure that you're branded across all social media sites. People like Coca-Cola and big companies are great at this. Make sure that whatever the banner is on your website, that's the exact same banner that you have on your Facebook page. It's the same banner you have on your Google Plus page, and that when people go, they immediately see, oh yeah, that's that company, and that it gets branded in their minds. Do you have links on your website? We talked about that this morning. Make sure you have links to on your website to any social media, to your Facebook page, to your LinkedIn profile, to your Google Plus page. Do you have a schedule? Okay. This is so important, and going into 2015, I highly recommend that you develop some kind of a social media schedule. Because how many people have ever gone on Facebook to do a post, and then all of a sudden it's an hour later because you got distracted by so-and-so said this and so-and-so said, so you're off on the different rabbit trails. Well, if you have a schedule and say, I'm going to spend 15 minutes in the morning and I'm going to do a post in that. So Monday, maybe Monday is Ask a Question Day. So you go onto your social media sites and you ask a question that's pertinent to your product or whatever, and then later on that day you go back and people have answered the question and then you respond to their answers and things like that. Then Tuesday you do a blog post that answers that question, okay, and talks about it. Maybe Wednesday you take that blog post and you make that blog post into a short video, and you can do that. There's a program called Animoto that you can take blog posts and make them into video. And then Thursday might be, quote of the day or tip of the week. Friday is something else. So make sure you know for each one of the sites what you're going to do. Real quick, if you're taking notes, the best time to post on Facebook is 11 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon, and 7 o'clock at night. Why do you think 11? Lunch break. People are getting ready to go to lunch, so between 11 and 11:30, they're getting on Facebook to see where are my friends going to lunch, okay? So, and 1:30, they just came back from lunch, so they're going to check it again. And then, 7 o'clock at night. Between 7 and 8 o'clock at night. If you are LinkedIn, best time to post on LinkedIn is between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning and 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The same thing with Google+. Those are business sites. People check them in the morning before they start their day and at night before they go home. Twitter, I have no idea why this is, but the research shows the best time to post on Twitter is between 3 in the afternoon and 6 in the evening. I don't know why, but that's it for Twitter. So those are some of your sites. Best time, again, have a schedule, okay, so that you're not spending a lot of time. You're getting on, getting done what you need to get done, doing that interaction, and then leaving. Yes? No, I do not. Okay? If you use, do I recommend that you use programs like Hootsuite? There are programs that, like Hootsuite and others, that will allow you to schedule posts. Okay? If you post on, I should qualify this. If you post to LinkedIn or Google Plus with Hootsuite, you're fine. Facebook, your post will never see the light of day. Facebook doesn't like automatic posting. So they won't, so I wouldn't use it for Facebook, but Facebook does have, within Facebook, a scheduler where you can schedule out posts as well. And so in the morning you could set it up for these to go out at certain times. Okay. Tracking your return on investment. First of all, make sure that you have analytics on your website. And even if somebody else set up your website for you, you should be able to get to those analytics and see what they are. You need to know, are people coming to the site, and how many visits you're getting, when are they coming, what day of the week, okay, what time of the month, what seems to trigger their visit, okay, is it because you did a blog post and you posted that out on your social media sites? Is that what triggered the visits? Is it a press release you did? What was it that triggered the visit? And where are your visitors coming from? So almost all analytic programs will say, this visitor came from Facebook. This visitor came from Google+. That way you know, if you're getting all of your traffic, most of your traffic from Facebook, guess what? That's where you want to spend your time, is on Facebook, if that's where your traffic is coming from. So it usually takes a good 3 to 4 months for you to really be able to get a feel for when are people coming to your site and where are they coming to your site from. Okay. Secure your rankings. Okay. Keep tabs on where you're ranking for various keywords. I keep a spreadsheet, you know, and once or twice a month go in and see how your ranking is doing. Post to your Google Plus local page. It's just like a Facebook page. You want to make sure you're in there and posting to that. Build your social media site. Make it a habit to go in and add more citations. A citation is just a site where you can list your name, address, and phone number. So you can add those a few at a time, okay, and keep adding and adding, keep adding more reviews. So make sure that, you know, internet marketing is not a set it and forget it, unless you're just building, like I said, your website for online brochure, so to speak. But if you really want to rank with your website, you need to work on it all the time. Make sure that you're continually adding these things to your site. Now, one thing I want to do real quick here, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. As I said, I'm a SCORE mentor. I'm going to pass my scorecards around. And what I will do is meet with you, and usually it's virtual. I use GoToMeeting. I will meet with you and for absolutely no charge, take a look at your online marketing and give you some ideas on how you can do it better, some improvements that you can make. So my information's there. That's a free service of SCORE. Is I will do an analysis for you. We'll just set up a time. You can get on your computer, I get on mine. I'll look at your website, I'll look at your social media sites and say, you know, here's where you can make some improvements. Maybe you're doing a great job, just say, oh, you're doing a great job. But there's my contact information. I'm going to kind of throw it open for questions at this point.